South Sudan's conflict is the worst since it won independence from Sudan in 2011. That was through a peace deal that brought an end to one of Africa's longest civil wars. Now it seems both leaders are working together to end a different crisis. Rebels in South Sudan, led by former Vice President Riek Machar, are battling government forces for control of the country. At a joint conference in Juba, Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir said he had no intention of supporting any opposition rebels.
Here in South Sudan, we have made agreements on how to secure our borders, which we have agreed to implement in the arms-free zone between the two countries. We guarantee that we will not allow any person wanting to work against the government of Juba to do so from Sudan.
Historically, relations between both countries have been tense. South Sudan's independence in 2011 brought an end to a 20-year civil war which claimed around 2 million lives. But efforts to broker peace have been hampered by a series of deadly clashes around the disputed oil-rich region of Abyei. In March last year, Sudan and South Sudan agreed to resume pumping oil after production was shut down for more than a year in a dispute over fees. Both countries also agreed to withdraw troops from their border area to create a demilitarized zone. Bashir and Kiir now face the challenge of ending a conflict that threatens to destabilize both their countries and the entire region. Clementine Logan, CCTV.
For more analysis on this report, we are now joined live in studio by Abdiwahab Sheikh Abdisamad of Southlink Consultants and Horn of Africa political scientist at Kenyatta University here in Nairobi. Thank you for joining us tonight.
My pleasure.
So both sides are quite optimistic that a comprehensive deal will be reached. What would such a deal entail?
It's the best interest of the Salva Kiir to talk to Riek Machar. Equally, it's the best interest of the Riek Machar to talk and compromise the government of the headed by the Salva Kiir. Otherwise, the country will go into Somalia way, whereby the Nuer against the Dinka. And then the rest of the tribes either will side the Nuer or will side the Dinka. So it's up to them now to compromise, look what is a solution. Then the best way is to even form a coalition government so that the country move forward. Build the institutions, democratic institutions, transform the national militia force into professional forces. If they do that, then the country will move forward. Otherwise, the country will go into Somalia way, whereby the civil war they're going to begin.
There's been allegations, though, that neither side is willing to commit fully to these talks due to the slow pace of the talks. What are your views on this?
To be honest, it's the responsibility of both leaders to seek the lasting solution of the conflict. If they fail to do so, then this is very unfortunate. The young nation of Africa then goes into civil war. That's what you call the last thing we hope for, so that at least they can compromise. But what I'm saying, what I'm seeing is, the Juba government, particularly the President Salva Kiir, must release the 11 political prisoners, the 11 political allies of the Riek Machar. Equally, the Riek Machar also must compromise the Salva Kiir so that the country can move forward. They have to end the power struggle within the system. They have to end. They have to focus the future. They have to develop the key sectors of the country, the service sector, industry sector, agriculture sector, rather than what you call the petty issues, petty political issues, the petty power struggle. They have to end. They must have a vision whereby they have to move forward the country. Yes.
Sudan's President Salva Kiir went to Juba and committed himself to helping them resolve the conflict. What impact would this have?
And President Hassan al-Bashir, he knows both leaders more than any other leader in the region. He seems a honest broker compared to the Addis Ababa, the conference. He knows both the Salva Kiir, he knows the Dr. Riek Machar. So this time around, he's a honest broker. That's why they're going to deploy joint forces between the south and the north to secure and they have to protect the oil fields. They have to make sure the oil fields are safe and secure. This is the first time. It's an ironic, to be honest with you, whereby the north of Sudan forces now returning to the south It's strengthening this time as a friendly forces, not what they call enemy forces. It's a development, it's a new development, to be honest with you. But what Omar Hasbash is doing right now, it seems a honest broker. He's going to broker a peace between the two leaders, so that the interests of both countries will be the safe and secure.
In some quarters, though, it's been argued that this conflict is not just merely a conflict, you know, an internal conflict, there are local conflicts in South Sudan, that it may also have an international proxy interest aspect. Do you agree with that? What do you think?
Some observers, they are saying the proxy war between China and America. But I dispute. I don't believe. China is an emerging power. China has an investment in Africa, literally in every country of Africa, including South Sudan. China is a member of the Security Council. It's a responsibility of China to resolve between the two leaders. China, they see both parties as a honest broker. They can bridge the gap between the Salva Kiir and Riek Machar. In fact, the best country to resolve the problems. So China, the role of the South Sudan conflict, it's necessary, so that to safeguard the interests and the economical interests of China.
All right, let's leave it there for now. Thanks very much for those insights. We had here in studio Abdiwahab Sheikh Abdisamad of Southlink Consultants and Horn of Africa political scientist at the Kenyatta University here in Nairobi.